the first thing we're going to be doing on this stream is we are going to be looking at the pre-season MVP ladder. And this, by the way, is the same publication that had the Fever as the 6th best team. So yes, this is the same publication. We've just scrolled down too far. It said the Fever were going to be the 6th best team in the WNBA. Which is mental. Which is absolutely mental. But let's take a look at the MVP rankings here. So Fee is number 1. It's a countdown. I would say Fee is number 1. Fee being number 1 would be my call too. I have nothing wrong with that. My ones would be Fee 1, Caitlin, Aja 2A, 2B. I do think either of those are going to win MVP, but I think Alyssa Thomas is in the conversation purely because I think Nate Tibbetts is he's the weirdest coach in the history of ball. I don't think Stewie's going to be in the stratosphere of winning an MVP. Like, I think Stewie's forgot how to shoot the 3 ball. And like, Stewie was terrible in Unrivaled. She was terrible in the finals. Like, I don't see Stewie being in that conversation for MVP. So these are the top 10 MVP candidates. 10. There is no way that Brittany Griner is going to be an MVP candidate. There's no way. There is no way. Like, she's playing with another non-shooter in Bree Jones. The Houston native still doesn't have an MVP award. If you asked me, when she was drafted, I'd have said she would have won multiple. I mean, after a rookie season, you would have assumed it was Skylar Diggins. You would assume not Skylar Diggins. Geez, Elena Deladon was going to be the player who won multiple MVPs from that class, and she did win multiple MVPs. Griner could have a shot this year. Was going to require the dream to gel quickly. Brittany Griner has no chance of winning MVP. I'd put Angel Reese ahead of Brittany Griner, and Angel Reese is not winning MVP. I'd put Paige Beckers ahead of Brittany Griner. I'm not joking when I say that. I would put Paige Beckers over Brittany Griner. Arike 9. Again, Arike is not winning MVP. Dallas may not make the playoffs. With Beckers now in the backcourt, the Wings might be a playoff team after finishing 11th in the league last year. If that happens, Becker will likely run away with the Rookie of the Year award. Yeah, obviously. Her and Anissa Morrow are probably... Her, Anissa Morrow, Citron, and maybe Sanaya Rivers are the only rookies that are going to start day 1. So she should. She should run away with Rookie of the Year. But it's likely Arike who could get the MVP love. It's because Agumbawale is going to be the leader of Dallas for at least 2025. Becker is a great compliment, but Arike should be the team's top scorer and a go-to option. I don't understand. Arike is 9th for MVP. Like, and why is Satu ahead of Kalia Copper? Unless they've got 3 Mercury players in the top 10. Because Kalia Copper is better than Satu on both ends of the floor. Plays with a higher motor and, isn't like permanently injured. Actually, what am I talking about? Kalia Copper literally was injured in Unrivaled, but hasn't been permanently injured the last few years. Satu Sably, surprisingly, Sably's only the 2nd biggest get in Phoenix this offseason. The team also added Liz Thomas. Spoiler alert, Satu is only the 2nd highest Mercury player in his power rankings. What? She's not even the 2nd best player on the Mercury. Sably's MVP case is pretty simple. Stay healthy and produce a season that looks like 23 campaign but higher efficiency. That year, Sably finished 5th in MVP voting and won most improved player. Certainly not an easy case, but at least easy to see what Sably will need to do to win the award. Yeah, that was a genuinely weird year for the WNBA. It was a kind of weak season. Like the Lynx weren't nearly as good as they are right now. The Sky was dysfunction with James Wade. They were the 5th. They won like 24 games. I'm pretty sure, were they like 24 and were they 22 and 18 or something? Like, I'm pretty sure they were barely over 500. So the Wings, they were 22 and 18 and they got the 4th seed. And then they had to beat a sub 500 Atlanta Dream team. They had to beat a sub 500 Atlanta team to get to the 2nd round of the playoffs. Everyone's like, oh, Dallas was so good that year. They had to beat a sub 500 Dream team. And the Dream got better in 2024. And the Dream nearly didn't make the playoffs. But yeah, that was... Kelsey Plum. I actually don't mind Kelsey Plum at 7. I don't mind that. It'll be an interesting one. It'll be an interesting one when it comes to Kelsey Plum. Like, the Sparks are the worst team in 2024. Yeah, I don't think she's going to be in with a chance of winning it, but all W team, second team maybe sounds right. But who are the top six? Sabrina, Asia, AT, Stewie, Caitlin, Fee? That's an interesting one. I'm trying to think of who else there could be on that list. Like, your NECA's not going to be in MVP talks, but NECA should be ahead of Brittany Griner and Enrique, to be honest. Sabrina 6, yeah. Sabrina Ionescu's MVP case is tough because she's probably always going to play second fiddle to Stewie in New York, but maybe not. She was the best player for the Liberty most of last season. Yeah, she was horrendous in the finals. Absolutely horrendous in the finals. But, like, well, so not even horrendous in the finals, horrendous in game 5. But still, she was the best player through most of the season. Her or John Quell. I didn't think Stewie was good last season. She didn't play defense the way she normally did. And it just seems like the regression is happening for Stewie. So I would put Sabrina higher than 6, to be honest. And it's lazy just putting the freaking top 5 from last year as the top 5 from this year. Alyssa Thomas 5th. Can Alyssa Thomas be the same Alyssa Thomas she was in Connecticut? Well, based on the roster construction, she should still be his primary initiator. The answer is probably I'd have an Alyssa Thomas. Like, Stewie's in the top 4. I'd have Alyssa Thomas. I'd have moved Sabrina up 1, move AT up 1, and just get Stewie out of that top 5. Because, like, there has been a regression, and she's coming off knee surgery. Thomas, who finished in the top 5 MVP voting in 3 consecutive seasons, should be in the mix again, but it's a little tough to fully see what her path to the award is. In 2023 season, she averaged 15, 9, and 7.9 assists. Only got her second place. What would it take for her to actually win? Probably similar numbers, plus Mercury being a top 4 team. That's not going to be... I think she's not going to average the assists, but you never know. You never know. In a higher pace system, she probably could compete with Caitlin Clark for the assist title. So that would be an interesting one. Caitlin Clark, Fever. There's no way Stewie. The thing is, there is a weird situation where Caitlin Clark wins MVP. There is no way Stewie wins MVP. And I'm not falling for this again. I am not falling for this again. I bet on freaking... I called Stewie for unrivaled MVP. I am not falling for this again. It's not a knock on Clark, saying someone who already appears to be top 4 MVP candidate second season is a compliment. Don't call me a hater or a hate on a term I used on social media. I thought it was funny, but being used against somebody who's definitely not a Caitlin Clark hater. No, 4 is fine. 4 is fine. I think anything lower than 5 and you're like, it's a little bit different. I'm not comfortable putting Caitlin Clark ahead of 3 next. All have shown over multiple seasons they can be a viable tender for the best player in the world. Clark hasn't shown that yet, which isn't to say she won't in 2025. I'm fully convinced heading into 2026, I'll consider Clark an MVP frontrunner after another top 4 finish. Just don't quite see it being the year. Fair enough. Like, I do think she's going to be higher. Like, I just don't. Stewie might just fall victim to having too many star teammates. Stewart, who has also finished top 3 in MVP voting her last 6 seasons, gave up a little scoring responsibility last year to Ionescu, and the addition of Natasha Cloud to the Liberty lineup also means there's a lot of mouths to feed. It's not even that she gave up scoring to Sabrina. It's that she couldn't hit a shot. Like, Brianna Stewart. Like, if you've ever looked at Brianna Stewart's like stats, like, she was a sniper. Like, Stewie was an absolute sniper. But last year, and we saw it in Unrivaled as well, she was shooting tour dates last year. She was shooting tour dates in Unrivaled as well quite a bit. And I understand the counting stats are good. But if you look at Stewie, for seasons, 33, 37, 41, 36, 33, 37, 35 on volume 3-point shooting. 29% from 3. She shot worse from the field. Like, she averaged 3 less points per game, in fairness, 2 less shots. But, like, her rebounding was down on last season. Her assists were down. And her turnovers were up. Her blocks were down. In fairness, her steals were up. And she fouled more. She just did not have a good season last year. And again, that's by Brianna Stewart's standards. I just don't see top 3 in MVP candidate being realistic this year, especially because there has been a regression. There has definitely been a regression in Stewie. Nothing crazy, but there has been a regression. Stewie's still the best player in New York. She might not have room to post numbers that are good enough to beat out the next two players listed. With Aja, it's an interesting one. And the reason I don't think Aja is going to win MVP is because I think Jewel Lloyd is going to shoot the ball a lot. Like, I think she's going to shoot the ball a lot. I think Aja's stats, I think she had such a crazy stat season last year that it's hard for her to get better. I think it's hard. Like, she averaged, 27 last year? I think she's going to average in and around the same. Maybe 25, 26. But if she averages 25 points a game and the Aces aren't a top 3 seed, she's not winning MVP. Like, it's happened once. It's not going to happen again. We all know how they vote on MVPs. And unless it turns out that the Aces... But, like, if the Aces, by the way, are a top 2 seed, it'll probably be because of Aja Wilson. So if she manages to pull that off, fair enough, that she probably will win the MVP. Probably will win 2 in a row, but I just think the Aces had a really bad offseason. First one, I acknowledge Aja Wilson's the best player in WNBA. Imagine having to, before you say anything about Aja Wilson, having to just admit this. But to be fair, she is also, she's not only scared of the Aces / South Carolina fans, she's also scared of the Fever fans, which is, you know what, probably right to be. She's a 3-time MVP winner last season. Her Aces team will probably be a bit worse this year. Yep. It's also worth noting that while Wilson won award 3 times, she's never repeated. In fact, no player repeated since Cynthia Cooper in the first 2 seasons. But Fee, I'm not saying Fee got robbed last year. She got robbed of a vote. Even if Stewart and Wilson are 2 best players WNBA voters want to reward who hasn't won it before, which is why my preseason pick is Fee. Fee finishes runner-up last year while winning her first depoy. And if she keeps her level of play from last season, the Lynx finish top 2 team again. It's just hard to see a strong argument against her. Fee Collier, yeah, she can play exactly like she did and win the award. Fee Collier got robbed of a finals MVP. She got robbed of, she won depoy. She got robbed of at least a couple of MVP votes. Like, I'm sorry. It should have been one of the closest MVP races we've seen. But instead, for some reason, it was unanimous. And saying Aja should have won depoy. Aja Wilson barely played defense last year. She stood under the basket and blocked shots. Like, she didn't guard anybody. Like, Aja literally did not guard anybody last year. Like, I'm not putting you... There's a very much difference between a rim protector and a defender. Fee Collier was switching. She'd guard wings. She'd guard bigs. She'd guard anyone. Whereas Aja Wilson was just a shot blocker. And, like, we're not using Hassan Whiteside-nomics for depoys. I'm a Miami Heat fan. I remember how bad Hassan Whiteside was on defense because he hunted blocks. We're not using Hassan Whiteside-nomics while calling MVP. But yeah, I don't mind this. I think the 10 and 9 are weird, but Brittany Griner and Enrique. If I'm going for a player on the Dream, you probably go with Ryan just because if she's on a heater, like, nobody can guard her. Enrique is just worse Ryan Howard, in my opinion. I think John Quell's more likely to win an MVP than Enrique. Even though she is on the same team as 2 other MVP candidates, I think Satu is less likely to win it than Copper. And other than that, I think NECA higher than Enrique. But again, there's no point in debating like the lowest players, if you get me. But anyway, yeah, that is pretty much it, lads. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. And obviously, currently live on stream talking about this. So if you guys want to get in on the live stream, subscribe. And we will be recording plenty of videos every day on these streams.